Bas Rutten, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Wow.
Of all time.
That guy gave him some money. At the end, he's going to say it again. Hopefully. Otherwise, I take it back.
Hey, come on, you are. UFC champion. What's the
pancreas? Yeah, don't say pancreas.
Yeah, no, I
that's
can't.
The blood vessel in the brain, in the body, I guess.
He beat people up when they didn't have MMA gloves, so he palmed them out. He palmed people in the face out. You know how to do that? I don't know how to do that.
No.
You know, I started doing that as a bouncer actually, because I saw my buddy bouncers break their hands on hats.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm going to palm strike him. But I don't. People say, oh, he slapped him in the face. I don't hit with my hand. I hit with the bone.
Yes, no.
Just there, behind the ear. It's a
heel.
very effective tool.
Yeah, no, he did very good with it. That's right, and of course you had an illustrious bouncer career where that brought many, many stories, and then you were a YouTube sensation before there was YouTube sensations.
Yeah.
Explaining what you should do, what you would do to somebody if they were out of line, and therefore making me no longer wish to be drunk at nightclubs in case I ran into somebody like you.
And then go pee against the church. I just heard you guys talking about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They feel safe there, I guess.
Yeah, we're
Maybe
fine.
that's one of the reasons.
Maybe the church needs a bouncer.
Ah, there you go.
Hey, that would be something. Yeah,
Right.
you never know. Now you got all these crazy, the devil worshippers, all these guys.
Yeah, the world's a fucked up
Wait,
place.
there's devil worshippers? What's going? Wait,
That's,
no.
really, they really exist. There's wannabes, who in class probably got, picked on a lot. You can pick them out right away. When you see them, you go like, yeah, okay, he's one of those.
Is a legitimate devil worshipper? Because
Legitimate. They sacrifice and do all crazy stuff. These people are out of control. I'm telling you. Yeah, they live in a different world.
Well, I know the Church of Satan has been very active in trying to set up after-school programs. That is not.
Yeah,
that's
that is
not
not
a
a joke.
that's
Can
true.
they come in the proximity of a school? Actually, a bunch of
well,
those guys.
no, they're allowed to because the church is allowed to. That's the
their
reason that
point.
they've started. If
Wow.
you're allowed to push the church on children, then you're allowed to push the Church of Satan,
Oh.
and because of the legalities, they are doing it. There is
I thought it was a joke. This is crazy.
There's in America a statue of the Satanic Beast that is near the school, and they're doing classes where.
Well, I think the Satanic Beast was proposed and maybe approved near some state building somewhere for the same reason as if there's the Ten Commandments in front of a courthouse. Well, Satan has a lot to teach the children as well, so maybe we should have a statue of him throwing up the devil horns with kids gathered around him, learning wisdom from him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of wisdom.
That's got a lot of wisdom.
Kids
Yeah,
can learn a
how
lot
to
from
end up in
Satan.
jail.
Titties, fire and stuff. Fire's cool, man. Just saying.
Yeah, to burn evil.
Yeah. Are you a religious guy?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Have
I'm a
you always
Catholic.
been?
Yeah. I've always been a Catholic, but since the last 3 years, I got really back into it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What made you do that in the last 3 years?
I just sat in on a conference about a talk. I was just like everybody else. Saying, "Oh, it's all an accident. One cell became two cells." You start listening to these stories, but then you realize that wait a minute. Okay, a story that got to me is, imagine we're on Mars, we're walking on Mars for the first time, and suddenly we see, imagine also we don't know what a mousetrap is, right? Just,
okay.
I'm using this just as an example. And suddenly there lays a mousetrap on the ground, and you dust it off a little bit, and you look like, that is weird, and you load the spring, and you put this thing in, but you're stupid, you put your finger in there, slaps on your finger, you go, whoa, wait a minute, and you start realizing, this is actually somebody made this, This is not like the storm on Mars started coming all together, and then suddenly there was a wire, and it's attached to the wood, and you would say
I'm listening.
Somebody designed this,
Yes,
right? That's what
yes.
you would say. Everybody would say that.
Yes. Where's the
and now you
mousetrap?
take it back and you go and look at an eye of a human being. It has 2 million moving parts in an eye. We're just talking about the eye, not even about the DNA. Anthony Flew, actually, a really big atheist, he was the one who turned once they started explaining DNA. I mean, if you think that a mousetrap, which holds 5 parts, is a design, now look at the human body and look at the world around. And then I go, yeah, we are designed, and that's the first step, and then you start going from there.
See, go ahead, Michael.
I happen to agree with you that I think that there has to be some sort of guiding force to. Scientists disagree with this. They say what they will say is you don't understand how long hundreds of millions of years is, and trial and error. Eventually, you will find not a mousetrap. The difference is a mousetrap doesn't have a father. didn't have a mom,
No.
doesn't come from generations, so it can't have evolved. To me, that sounds very similar to like a Venus flytrap,
Yeah.
which is kind of a big mouse trap.
Yeah.
And we can kind of believe that well, there was a plant that kind of figured out how to do that a little bit, and then a little bit more, a little bit more. To me, that is too much of a stretch.
Yeah.
How
And
do you
it
get
would
from
be
being
an
a
intelligent plant, right?
From being a
If you
blade
think
of
about
grass
it.
to figuring out how to get teeth.
Again,
Okay.
if it was the plant, it was a very
no.
intelligent plant.
Right.
So it probably came from an intelligent designer as well. So you can backtrack it all the time.
Yeah.
Dingo-
That's what I
Dingo's
believe other
lost.
people don't. You don't need to.
Did we get the cheese for the mousetrap?
Bas and Michael have completely lost Dingo.
It was
This is
in
awesome. You're just like, what the fuck are they talking about? I love it.
I agree with you. The scientific community says that you and I have simple minds for not being able to grasp how
Yeah.
much.
Look,
We can't. We
I'm
have
not-
no
I'm
clue
not-
what
yeah.
goes on, man.
I'm not
None.
a church guy at all, and I am recently now a member of AA. So there is a big
Well,
God thing there. You have to believe in a higher power. I have given myself to a higher power. I don't believe that it had a beard or that it had a name, but there's definitely, to me, there is no way that the universe was made by an accidental explosion or something
Yeah.
something higher. There is a higher power.
That's it.
And whatever you want to name it,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. I don't have a problem with anybody calling it Allah, Jesus Christ, God. I don't. If you believe in it and it's helping you and it's a positive influence on your life, then I'm all for it. I
Yep.
mean, my name for it doesn't matter what my name for it is. I do believe that there is a higher power, and your argument is very correct. Like you're right. And a human being, how did this, like you're just saying, like sand rubbed in the water, and here I am, a fucking human being.
Yeah.
No, something else had something to do with it.
Yeah, I truly believe so. So yeah.
But you don't believe that.
You made the first step right there.
Yeah, you're not gonna tell. I'm not going to church with you, but it's not going to work out.
Oh, I can go on and on about some things, crazy things. You know, in the book of the Hindu, for instance, I'm telling you, 2,000 years before the coming of Christ,
Yeah.
it was said that a human would take an entity who would become human. He would die for the humans. He would be bound on a stick. His hand and feet would be pierced, but not be broken. He would be given a sour drink to drink. He would be crowned with a crown of thorns. I mean, there's 7 exact things that they 2,000 years in the book of the Hindu, 2,000 years before the coming of Christ, predicted. And I go like,
Yeah, so they
how's
got-
the odds for that?
So they
That's
got
going to
that-
be in the billions.
But then they got that book, and then they wrote the story made up about Jesus from the book.
From the book, yeah, and no, it's if you go look it up, you know, Pontius Pilate's got his autograph and everything that there was a Jesus Christ. So Jesus went in and he said, you know what? Can you guys crucify me because like 2,000 years ago somehow he got his hands on that book and he starts doing all these things. Oh, you got to put a crown of thorns on me, or you got to stab me in the side, or you got to give me a sour drink. You see, all these things are very coincidental.
So you do you believe Noah has an ark and all that stuff?
You know, that's the funniest part. Look, why don't you Google it?
Wait,
Did
wait.
they find it?
Did they?
I do not
Look
believe,
it up,
I
yeah.
don't believe they found anything they
They
could
found it in Turkey, and
verify is-
the measurements are exactly what the Bible described.
Wait, you're
Google
saying
it.
they found the Noah's ark?
Yeah, but it's all the way in it's in the ground. But they all archaeologists, how do you say?
archaeologists.
Archaeologists,
Yeah.
archeoloog, that's what you say in Holland. They start measuring it. Look at it, it's in Turkey, in the place where they said it would be. It's there, but it's all the way in the ground, and they start looking for it, and the measurements are exactly the same as in the Bible.
So, you,
Adam-
Boom! Look at there.
So Adam and Eve.
Yeah, listen, that's
You're
what
on board with that?
just somebody said to me just before I walked in here. You get
I want to talk about your movie,
know,
but
we
first
talked about
let's
the
bust your balls
design.
on God.
And yeah, that's. Oh, I can keep going, but we're not going to do that because it's going to be
Yeah,
a
you
religious
are.
start for you guys. Well, actually, the movie is about a little bit about life like that as well. So
The
Look,
movie The River Thief, which is available now.
you're a serious actor in this.
yeah,
You're not joking.
I'm a
Well,
bad
every
guy.
movie I've ever seen you in,
Yeah.
even when you're a bad guy, there's like there's humor to it,
Yeah,
which is funny because you are a real bad guy. Not maybe not now, which is funny because you're a religious guy. I don't believe that you are always a nice person. I believe that you've done some really bad stuff to some people. Sure, you could say they were bad people as well.
Yeah.
But you come from a fucking mean place, Bas. I know you do. and anybody that can be at your level of fighting thoroughly enjoys inflicting a lot of pain on other people. So every now and then, at some of these bars, You've done some things to some people. You've intimidated people. I believe you're El Guapo. You're a very handsome man. So that's your name, and that means you're fucking a lot of bitches at one point. That's not very nice. And there might have been some times there where you might have taken somebody's lady from them because you're the handsome one and you're tougher than everybody. There's a lot of evil things that you've done in your time.
No, I did not.
No, you come on, bullshit.
I did the fighting, did all that. That I never did. I never crossed those paths. And thankfully, I never did that. Listen, you have to understand, I was a kid who had a horrible skin disease, so they called me leper. They called me, this has been going on for a long time until I knocked one of the bullets out. Oh, I had severe asthma attacks. I mean, I was a very skinny kid with a horrible skin disease. It came and went, back and forth. Had to wear gloves, turtlenecks, long sleeves all the time because kids were constantly bullying me. And I think that's where it comes from. So yeah, if I would be in a bar and I see a small guy getting bullied by big guys, I would walk over. I wouldn't smash him. I would say, guys, step away from the little dude. This is not going anywhere. I would try to fix it. That's why they wanted me as a bouncer. Not because I could fight. Yeah, that was nice and handy, but 9 out of 10 times, I did it with talking. I come in, guys, what's going on? I will break it down for these guys, give them both a beer, shake hands, boom, and it would be, the night would go on. So I've never been that real bad person, but I think it comes because of the diseases and that people picked on me, and that's why I never did that to other people.
Do you have a temper?
I used to, I have a temper. No, pretty much no, but if I do.
You used to, though.
If I do, I wouldn't call it a temper, but once I keep on trying to fix the situation with somebody bad, and then I start realizing, wait a minute, he thinks I'm afraid of him, and I say, are you thinking that I'm afraid of you right now? Because that's not what's going on. I just don't want to fight because it makes no sense. And then if they push it, I'm going to make sure that people are going to remember this fight, as a bouncer, because then everybody's going to, it's word of mouth, right? It's the best commercial, so to say. Then the next time, the next 4 months, there's not going to be a fight in the club, I guarantee you that, because they say, this guy's crazy, But then they really deserved it. Then I was really, okay, I got to do something now, because otherwise it's not going to happen.
Do you realize how hard this is for me to believe?
I know a lot of people, but I look back on myself as well, I told people things that I said I shouldn't have said that, but then when I really break it down, then I go, well, actually, they really deserve that. At that moment. Would I do it now? I wouldn't do it now. Would I hit somebody now if I see him beating up somebody who was weakened? Yeah, I would do that still. But you're a Catholic, Bas. Yeah, but I'm there to protect the other people.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that.
And you think that it comes from when you were bullied because of your skin problem and because you were skinny? You think that's entirely where it came from?
No, not entirely. Well, if you look at my family, my brother's a lawyer, my father was a bookkeeper. They're both on the conservatorium. They played. I mean, I'm a complete different person, But so I always had a great, they brought me up well, but they didn't know. I didn't tell my parents I was bullied, so they had no clue. But they thought I was just a crazy kid because constantly I got in trouble, And then later on, when I started fighting and interviews came along, and then my mother started reading the interviews, she realized, oh man, he was bullied as a kid. I had no clue.
You were always in trouble as in fighting, or did you were
no
criminal?
The class clown, because nobody liked me. Everybody wanted to be away from me. They thought I was contagious. So what I did, I needed to get attention anyway, and thankfully I didn't do the crazy attention. I was the class clown. I was always making people laugh, and the teachers always sent me out of class. I mean, insane amount. In one school year, I think I went with this one teacher 72 times or something. So like constantly, because I just thought it was funny to make fun. That was my way of dealing with my problem, humor. I've always been like that.
Yeah, I was the class clown. That was my thing.
I was too.
Except when I got in fights, I always got beat up. I never delivered beat downs. I got beat down for. I never stole anybody's woman, but I did get chicks, and people would beat me up because I had chicks and they didn't.
It was vice versa growing up.
I was very handsome too, believe it or not.
I had bad eczema. I had really bad eczema. My grandpa used to would cry when I was a kid when he touched me. My skin was like sandpaper in the asthma thing and went in and out, and then I was overweight. And I went from both sides. I was bullied, and then I bullied over my course of my school year. So I played on both sides of the fence, and then come back later in life, you try and do the opposite.
Made your grandfather cry.
Yeah. My skin was so bad. I was in and out of the hospital, the big one, Melbourne Children's.
I cried because he couldn't fix you.
Well, he'd touch me, and it was like my arms and legs were like sandpaper.
And it made him cry.
Yeah.
He cried because of how fucked you were.
Yeah, I was always fine with it.
I had a family. My family would send in the old bed sheets, so my mother could rip them up, and she would mummify me every night with cortisone. There would be times that I would make a fist, literally pus would come out of my hand.
Oh.
It was disgusting. If I wear gloves, had to wear gloves, you could throw them away after 2 weeks because it would inside in the winter time, it's all messed up.
Wow.
So it was disgusting,
For how many years was that?
That's a long time till I 14. Then it started clearing up a little bit here and there. At 14 was the first time the biggest bully in town, Shaki was his name, and he was after me for a long time. Bad family. His brother was in jail for armed robbery, and just a bad family, and always busy. And then one day I started doing Taekwondo.
Okay.
And a big
That's
guy
the
took me
first
under his wing.
martial
First martial
art?
arts
Okay.
at 12 years old, at 14.
Okay.
And I trained for about 2-3 months. And I started dropping brown belts there, and I was training with the adults because this tough guy took me under his wing.
You were a natural.
So people started talking about me in the locker room, and I overheard them talking. I started growing confidence.
Yeah.
And then one day came, like the straight out of a movie, 7 guys with the bully on their bicycles, and they're coming towards me, and they're shouting something again. Hey, leper, watch out, your ears don't fall off. Whatever they were shouting. And this time I shouted something back, and I heard them laugh, and I looked back, and I see them started chase me. So I put my bike on a stand, and I said, "This is it. I'm not gonna run anymore."
Yeah.
And then the biggest bully surrounded me. Biggest bully started Shaki, and I hit him 1 punch. Broke his nose though in the process, knocked him out, and so the police showed up at my mom and dad's doorstep. So they took me off right away from martial arts again. But that was it. The bullying stopped immediately, and now I became the protector of all the other kids that got bullied in school. Oh, you have a problem? I'll deal with that, because I had a lot of issues to work with over the years. All these kids constantly, and they were busy with other kids. Yeah, now I start defending those kids.
Your parents took you out of Taekwondo?
Yeah, right away, because they wouldn't allow me. It took me 2 years for them to say yes to do martial arts.
So you
because
waited another 2 years to get back in?
No, 12 years old, I saw the movie here, Enter the Dragon from Bruce Lee.
Yes.
And I
me
realized
too.
if I'm that guy, the bullying will stop. And then I asked my parents over and over again for 2 years. And finally they said yes. And then 2 or 3 months later, I knocked a guy out. Police showed up because he broke his nose. Because normally in Holland, a fight on the street, the police will never show up. But since he had to be treated, so then they took me off. I had to wait for 6 years. When I was 20, I left
6
the
years
house.
you had to, before you could train again?
Yeah, but no, I started training, but my mom and dad didn't know. But I would just read from books. There was no videos at the time, so I would read books, martial arts books, karate books. I would learn katas already. Everything was from the library. That's where I found my input.
So you're doing like practice kicks and shit in your bedroom, secret Taekwondo.
Nunchucks I had.
Yeah, me too. Wow, yeah. I beat up my mum's boyfriend with nunchucks. Well, I didn't really beat him up. I dropped him. He pushed my mum over riding my bike home from school, and I saw her in the window. They were arguing, and he pushed her over, and she like disappeared. You know what I mean? So she fell to the ground, and I went in the garage, had my nunchucks that I'd made from Into the Dragon, and fucking came in through the back door. And he turned around, fucking bam, right in the fucking point. Sorry, spat at him, and dropped into the.
What's happening now? He's not swearing anymore. My beat is done here.
Wait, I'm not swearing.
You go, I'm sorry. You said.
Oh no, I said sorry because I spat on you. Wait, swearing's bad?
I thought you wanted to swear that you said, oh no, and then you kept, because it looked like that, right?
Wait, you don't like it when I swear?
No. What I found, no, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I don't care what people do. Not at all.
Sorry.
No. I just cut it out. I thought
You don't do it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, just be an example to my kids.
Did you used to?
Oh yeah, a lot. Because you're from Holland, and in Holland we see the movies like, not unfiltered, so to say. So everything is a curse word, and so you automatically think that they talk like this in America. So when you come, that's what you're doing, because everybody's programmed to certain lines. My English was pretty much all from movies.
Okay.
And that's how you.
Yeah.
My wife every time says, "How do you know that saying? How do you know it?" Say, "Oh, that was from that movie. That was from that movie."
Yeah.
That's how I know sayings.
Yeah, I learned English from Eddie Murphy raw.
Oh, that's a great example there.
See,
Why don't you come over here?
I grew up in a place kind of like him where fuck is every second word. So that's just like it's like I have an accent and fuck is a part of my accent.
Yeah.
But I have kids and I don't swear in front of my kids at all.
You see, but you see, you automatically don't do that. So there is something in you that tells you should do it, and then you realize.
I won't do it around kids. I check other people that do it. Like if we're at a restaurant and someone's like, and then this fucking guy came up and I'm like, hey, this kid's at that table.
Yeah.
Like I do that, but I don't. But I talk like an
once you start
asshole here.
realizing, and you have many guests here, and once you have a guest who, for instance, who does it all the time in every sentence, you kind of know that it's a compensation for what they may be nervous or maybe doing. They think that if they throw out a lot of profanity, people not going to realize what they're doing. It's like the big guys, the bodybuilders in the early days, not all the bodybuilders, but the guys who use a lot of steroids, who were bullied in class, then they put a lot of steroids in themselves. They grow big, and they think now that everybody's afraid of them. But deep down inside, as a bouncer, I would tell this story right away. I said, deep down inside, you're still that little guy, dude.
Yeah.
It's just some muscles around you. You're not any stronger than you were. Yeah. You're not going to win this thing, And then they always would back off because I would just lay it down for them what my profession was, and how if I go shoot hoops with any great Kobe Bryant, who's going to win that, right? Nobody's going to put money on me, of course not.
If you kick him, you'll win. But yeah, you're right.
But you see what I mean? It's once it's your profession, it's different.
No, the more I trained, actually, the first boxing fight I ever had, Ryan Parsons, a good friend of yours, got when I was I had the show when I was doing it at Tony Hawk's studio, and he got Bas to call in and to congratulate me because I won by knockout. And I remember saying, because Ryan was like, yeah, he knocked him out with 16-ounce gloves and headgear, and I'm like, okay, is that a big deal? He's like, yeah, it's harder to do. Yeah. And I was like, is that hard to do? But have you done that? He's like, yeah. Like, I don't know how many times. I remember thinking, I really don't know anything about what I'm involved in here at all. You know what I mean? Like, I remember Ryan saying, it's a big deal. You knocked him out with the headgear. And I'm like, it is? Yeah. And then, Bas, that's a big deal. He's like, yeah, man, maybe for some people, but not for...
Yeah, but they're all pros, So, and then they will say that it is a big deal. It's much easier with a smaller club.
Right. But the more you train, the more I get to understand. The more I train, now I'm almost 10 years of training some kind of martial art to flex on somebody or to be in a confrontation with somebody who doesn't fight. You're an asshole if you're gonna hit that guy, because it is like a basketball. It's the same as I bring up the skateboard thing. People are like, man, you do fine. And I'm like, it's like saying that you could do fine on a mega ramp, and you've never skateboarded before. But how hard is it to skateboard, roll down a hill? It's a lot harder than you think. People get this fighting thing different because every man has watched a Rocky movie, and it's two hands. I put one hand in front of the other. How hard can it be? It might be different if you've never surfed before, and you're like, well, maybe I wouldn't be able to surf. I don't really understand surfing. But trust me, I've had some scraps in my day or at school. I know how to fight. It's the exact same thing, but it's like running. Because every boy has run that has legs has run. Yeah. So you're like, well, how much faster could a fast runner be? You have no fucking idea. Sorry to say fuck again. You have no idea how much.
It's gone backwards.
Look, I really look up to you, dude. You're one of the guys that when I first started getting into MMA, I watched videos. You were running Bartertown, my friend. You had everybody. You taught Bob Sapp. First fight I ever really was like addicted to fighting when I watched Bob Sapp fight. Ernesto. And you were trying to help Bob. You try to help Kimbo. You try to train.
Yeah, I trained Kimbo from his first fight on. We started, First I put him in contact with Sean Tompkins because at that time I was busy. But then 2 months later he came to me, and then we started training him. And he did really well. He started picking up really fast. A lot of people don't know what we, of course, didn't want to say, is that he had bad knee problems. So he was getting shots like every 3-4 weeks. I mean, it was a nightmare to work around that. But, if he wouldn't have had that problem, he started to pick up. He did so few with the James Thompson fight, backdoor escapes that he did. These are not hard to pull off. These are pretty hard to pull off, and he did them.
He had bad hips, did you say, or knees?
Bad knees.
So he got injection, what kind of...
Yeah, cortisones, for the pain. Because if you're 4 weeks out before a fight, well, you got to keep on fighting. Yeah. So might as well numb it up, and then, so which is not a good thing to do, of course.
From the start, he had bad knees?
No, it started like after the third fight. Okay. Then it started coming.
That's still pretty soon.
Yeah, so, he did a great job.
Did you? I know that you had your arm was real bad for a long time, right?
It is still. Yeah, let me take my jacket off so you can see what it is. See this? The muscle is gone here on the side. It's atrophied. It's my nerves. They got jammed in my neck. I dropped upside down on my head in a TV show, not in fighting, in a fight scene. Yeah, and it crunched my nerves. So then once the nerves, I always tell the people, they say, how is that possible? I say, well, if you break a nerve in your back, right, you're paralyzed. Yeah. Now, what happens here, if you squish a nerve, you see it like in a hose, a water hose. If you squeeze it, less water comes out. Yeah. So it starts working less. And that's what happened here. And this is a big arm compared to what it was.
It didn't work at one point, right?
Yeah, it was insane. I couldn't lift my arm. I couldn't grab a cup.
For the longest time. So how do you get your arm back to working like it is now?
4 neck surgeries. 4
4
fusions
neck
from the front
surgeries.
and from the back. I mean, I got plates everywhere. But I'm still, this is still good. Yeah, I still have old mobility.
Yeah.
One more, that would be bad. But this is working. Now they call it brachial plexus. I'm actually going in 10 days for another nerve study. And if it is brachial plexus, there's something with stem cells now that they think they can do.
Yeah.
They can alleviate the nerve here. Under my armpit is a lump, and I have the feeling that's where it's caught. That's where the hose is squeezed, so to say. And so hopefully they can free that up, and then I'm going to get this back.
They're getting way better at stuff these days, aren't they? It seems to me like we're I know you're just a little bit older than me, not much, but my skateboard career has wrecked me, and I'm in the middle. I got PRP. I had a fight a year ago where my shoulder got separated, and my knees. I have no PCLs in my knees from skateboarding. They're just gone. Yeah. He was like, "You don't have them. You haven't torn them. They're not there." And I'm like, my knees have always been pretty wobbly. He's like, I don't even understand you, dude, but I'm going to give you these injections and my meniscus is torn, all that bullshit. But to know the PRP and then to find out about stem cells, hanging out with Shane Cowan the other day, he just recently knocked me out a week ago.
Nice.
I fought him with one arm.
He had stem cells?
Yes, that's the only reason he won.
You want to do it too?
But it made me realize, because there's another skateboarder I know, Danny Way, one of the greatest skateboarders in the world, who's had surgeries that he flew to Canada to have because they weren't even legal at the time. And this is only 20 years ago. And now, what they can do, and he's like, dude, you get stem cell, then you get PRP on top of it, and then, like, the nerve thing. I remember, I'm like, man, how to be active and then not to be active.
Mm-hmm.
That because I had a heart thing for a while. It was almost like you'd taken my life away.
Yep.
I remember they thought I had heart disease because I got studies, and it turned out I had like a little AFib thing, and I got it fixed. But at one point, they were like, this is what you have. And then they walked out, and I'm like, I'll never skateboard, I'll never fight, I'll never... And I don't care about the money or the glory. Yeah. I want to be in the ring. I want to move around. I just want to learn stuff. I just want to be in it.
Did you have rheumatic fever as a kid, by any chance?
No.
Oh, you see, because I had that. That's why I need to check my heart all the time as well. But yeah, I had the same thing. When I go interview, last interview I did at the gym was Michael Bisming, and he was training. And I walk in there with the cameras, and we're going to interview him after he's done training. I really want to train. I go, oh, I wish I was in there. And rolling on the ground, how cool is that? Yeah. Every day when you roll, you figure something new out. Yep. It's an endless list of combinations. Yeah. It's the coolest stuff. But I just don't want to do it anymore. My doctor says I can. But I say, you know what, after this, I'm going to give my body a rest. I do swimming. I swim with these crazy big fins on my hands. Yeah. And I do all crazy exercises in the water. And that keeps me in shape.
That's crazy. Dominic Cruz has the underwater things, and I text him and said, hey, what are those things you're using? And I've got them now. I guess they get the lactic acid out after you train or whatever, but I do a lot of workout in the pool now with these punch fins. You know what I mean? They're like the resistant things.
You know, the great thing about the pool is also, and I swear to God, it just pops up in my head, because I thought, why would it be so good? Because you can work out much harder. It's like an engine. You get cooled all the time. It cools you down. You can really push it. If you see me coming out of the pool, people are going to go, oh, he's on steroids. I guarantee you that. I look like a freaking maniac. I cannot duplicate that with weights. But all these crazy exercises, I have 12 exercises that I do 4 times. And I work out at 45 minutes. It's a non-stop workout. You can
is that going to be a DVD?
Exercise.
Or is that going to be on iTunes?
No, it's not going to be.
Come on, man. Where's the buddy? I remember the bus.
The buddy, yeah, right?
The buddy, what's it called? What was it called?
The buddy exercise, the bus with the workout, the audio workout. Yeah. You get that too, right?
Yeah, I've been to your gym before with Mike Jasper, and I see that you have like a video of a warm-up on there. Like, you know all the shit, dude. Your gym's fucking awesome, by the way.
It's nice, right?
Yeah.
Just say awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, he's still going. I know who he hangs out with. He fucking hears it all the time. There's certain things I just cannot change. Well, you know what I mean? Look, I don't do drugs and I don't drink anymore. Pretty fucking happy with that.
There you go.
Let me deal with the fuck word in a couple of years. I'll get to that one
You know,
next.
hey, it started with me that too. Drinking and drugs, and it's all cut out, For me, this really helped me. So that's why, like you said, if it helps you, you feel good about it, do what you do,
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah. I think the more at peace I am, maybe the more I can start to, because I feel like there's a lot of things that I treat people a certain way, might be tired, angry, bitter. Not, you know, and the more I come to peace with myself, the better, the easier I am to get along with everybody. My girlfriend, my children, my ex-wife, everybody. So I think that maybe I am becoming a lot happier with who I am every day. So maybe, who knows?
You see?
Maybe you know, later on.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
You're gonna have your own Catholic channel.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I could be a minister.
A story about a mouse trap.
Hey, you did marry somebody.
I did. I am a minister. That's right.
Oh, I did that too.
You did?
Yeah. And one of my old students, he asked me if I wanted to do that. They ordained me, right?
Yeah.
For one time.
Oh, that's such a good idea. Though. To be married by Bas Rutten is pretty awesome.
My father vested in me as deputy. What was it? Deputy.
Yeah, he didn't get all those words in there.
I have it written down
I
here.
said, but the power invested in me. I said that.
Yeah.
I didn't call myself
You're
a deputy.
probably drunk.
Oh, well, no, it was just the other day. Yeah, I was completely sober. Hey, well, I want to get. I saw the preview for the movie.
The River Thief.
Yeah, and I wanted to. I could tell. I know we jumped off. We always do this,
Yeah.
but I know I was in a movie with you, the Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Hulk up, yeah.
So-
Yeah, you did all the skateboard scenes there.
Right.
I had just one scene in there.
Right, but you're good friends with
Kevin.
Kevin James, so
Yep.
I know that you're in other movies with him. I know you're in the next one.
Yep.
You do a lot of stuff where you are a tough guy. You might even be Bas Rutten, or if you're not Bas Rutten, you're a tough guy who has a kind heart. There's something there that is a comic relief kind of thing. But I've actually when I first got divorced, I dated a girl for a little bit, and we went to an MMA fight, and we didn't date for very long because I found out she was fucking crazy. But the night I found out she was fucking crazy, I was at an MMA fight, and there was some people that recognized me from the radio show, and she went to go get a drink at the bar, and someone comes over and goes, "Hey man, your chick's in a fight right now. You might want to check it out." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" She's in a fight with one of the Gracies, a wife of a Gracie, and we're at an MMA. We're at a fucking MMA event.
Yeah.
And I am just playing Jason Ellis, who I know the Gracies.
Yeah.
I know you don't fuck with the Gracies.
Yeah.
And my girl that I don't really know that well is punching one of them. So I come running over, and I see her in a hair lock with two other females, and she's in the air, elevated, because people are trying to break it up, and she's kicking one of them in the face.
Yeah.
And I see a couple of dudes look at me because they know that I'm with her, and I can tell these dudes are way better than me at mixed martial. I don't know that face, but I'm pretty sure that guy's way better than me at MMA. And I lean in and I'm like, I'm just trying to break it up. And then I look to the side and I see Bas in the corner, and I'm like, oh my God, Bas Rutten is here. I'm going to fucking die. Like, these guys are going to be like, hey, chump, get your dumb bitch out of here or we're going to kill you. But I noticed that when you were looking at it, how calm you were compared to how calm I was not in this situation. You were like, man, you were looking at it like, if this does get out of control, I am going to step in and make sure that.
You know, once the guys start, once that happens, because
That's what you were waiting for.
Then I would say, come on, guys, that's what do it. And thankfully, I know all these guys. They would say, "God, this is not going to go anywhere. Talk to your lady, right?
No, they
She
pulled her
ever
a
tapped you on her forehead?
No, do you have to bring up every mistake I've ever made in my life?
Probably was very good looking.
Okay, thank you.
How weird is that?
Shit, go. Does come with the territory.
When was the last time you came to blows in public?
That was the whole Swedish bar fight story. With the bouncers. And before that, I literally had it a bunch of times. People would be too drunk, but I would simply look at the bouncers and I would wave them over. I said, this guy, man, is really... They would be in my face, and I would write the number down from the gym. And I would say, hey, tomorrow when you're sober, come over here and we fight, if you would like to fight. I said, but you're not going to come. I guarantee, I'll be there. And all of them. I did this maybe 6 times in my life, that I gave them the number, and of course they wake up. And that's why I don't like the fight. It's so stupid, especially a drunk guy. That's why when I was a bouncer also, I would choke people out. And sure, it looks really bad for the people who don't know what it is, and you hear these stories with cops, because they just don't know how to do a correct choke.
Yeah,
but
once
if
you
you
go
do
to
a
sleep,
butt
you let
choke,
go.
it's the most humane way to subdue somebody.
Right.
You tie them up, let the cops come, boom, it's gone. And after that bar fight story in Sweden, that's like 13, 14 years ago now, I never had anything anymore. It was really weird. Maybe maybe they read it, maybe they realized, okay, we shouldn't fight him.
I was always amazed that anybody drunk at a bar would pick a fight with Bas Rutten or anybody from mixed martial arts community that is that well known. It's just why do you? I mean, you better pray that he chokes you out, because if he starts using his hands and feet, your face isn't going to look the same the next day.
Well, it's not. It doesn't seem like it's a rational man who picks.
Yeah,
the
but
fight
even
in
that man.
public
No,
anyway.
I know with Chuck Liddell was teaching a seminar at his place, and we went to a bar afterwards, and the tiniest guy, I mean 5 feet tall, and he's bouncing in between us, and he looks at me, and looks at Chuck, and then he turns to me, and he goes, "You want to go do it?" And he really started picking a fight, and Chuck is every time telling him, do not challenge this guy, this is not going to go right. And the guy kept going, "You scared, dude? You scared?" And we're just laughing, which makes him more angry now, of course. And then we just called the bouncers. We said, "Listen, get this guy out, because, why? Why would you do that? What is the reason?" There was no reason. He just bounced in between us, and he was looking at Chuck, then at me. And apparently I was the tougher guy or the less tougher guy. I don't know how he was picking his opponents. But there's one thing
Between both of them, though, like, you realise that they're both friends. Like, what if for some weird reason you do beat up one of them? What do you think the other guy is going to do?
Oh, Chuck?
Yeah.
Insane, this guy. He's one of my favorite guys of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Me
way
too.
he knocks people out, he hits so hard, people have no clue.
I actually had him punch me in the face here for I wanted a slow-mo, like, of the glove going through my face. And no warm-up, I didn't warm my face up or anything. I was like, "Come on, man, like, do it for the video." And he's like, "Okay." He's already giggling, and he punched me in the face, and I'm like, "Wait, I saw a little bit of a flash."
Oh!
You've seen the
Man,
video,
that's
Buster.
pretty solid. Oh, man, what are you thinking? Oh, you were still drinking at that time?
I'm definitely
Doing
still
drugs.
drinking.
I was still drinking at that time.
Yeah.
It's good. I was thinking...
Now, why do you?
Oh, it hurts me.
Okay, but why do you react that way when? I mean, how many fights have you attended
what?
in your lifetime?
It's
How many
so
have you
weird.
been a part of?
I know. I have this. Sometimes when I look back, I do know. I do tell myself I was a different guy then. I was really. It didn't matter. If I would hurt, before this, I had this whole thing with Funaki. He comes before a fight, always loved the guy. It was a rematch. He beat me the first time when I didn't even, with a toe hold. I didn't even know what a toe hold was. It was my third fight in Japan. And then finally I started learning the ground game, and I didn't lose anymore, you know? And then I had a rematch with him for the title. And everything was nice, and he comes to me before the fight, stands in front of me like 2 feet away, and with his thumb he goes over his throat.
Yeah.
And I look at my manager. I never had a coach. I had my manager with me, and I go, "Okay, I'm gonna kill this guy now." And he goes, "You got to stay calm, boss." But just the anger that I had there.
Yep.
And I said, "I will still stay calm, but you watch. Once I connect, I'm gonna go to town." And when you watch that fight, Bas Rutten Funaki Masakatsu 2, just Google it. Then you go like, "Yeah, he was angry."
Yeah, because I've seen that in you.
Oh, it was But then it pulls something out. You go, "Why would he do that?"
Right, but you take no pleasure in reliving that memory now because you're a changed
No,
man.
I don't. No, but there's still a side of me that says it was a cool fight,
Right.
and I kind of try to justify it with the whole slicing the throat thing.
Of course.
But
Anything that happens in a sanctioned bout is a totally different story.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but there is an aggressive part sometimes where, like when I see guys knock a guy out and they pull back before the ref stops it, I admire that guy for that. And when I see a guy punch a guy, unless it's Dan Henderson punching Bisbing second time, I'm like, man, really? You don't need to do that.
Yeah, you don't.
But when I knocked out, I think I've only done that one time where I didn't hit him again on the ground, but my instinct was to do that because I think I was kind of, he was mean to me the whole thing. He's saying he was gonna kick my ass, and I wasn't quite sure that I was gonna win. He was in the UFC. He probably gonna fucking beat me. I'm not good enough. And then when I knocked him out, when he fell, I was gonna go over him. And then after when I knocked him out, I was fucking, you know what I mean, like fucking angry. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? Yeah. That's not you. Like, when did you become this? You know what I mean? "Rah, who the fuck's next?" You know what I mean? Like, what
I want the belt.
Yeah, like
make that motion before you
do
belly
that.
it
I
up.
may as well have. I fucking lost control for a couple of seconds there, but I thought, what is in you that can come out? You know, like,
It's weird. Well, maybe because it may be. Yeah, and I'm saying this is correct. I'm 100% with you. I think the fighter is in total control when he dropped somebody, and I would look at him and I would see, this is it. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
you
hit him
know.
extra because I did not want to hurt the guy. But there is, like you already mentioned it, Henderson with Bisping, but there was a lot of bad talk before. And that was because of that bad talk.
Yeah.
You know, could he have done it maybe twice? He probably could have, but he didn't do that at least, you know, because he was really out at that moment. That was actually one of the reasons I didn't want to fight in the first UFCs when they asked me about it, because I was already fighting in Japan before the UFC started.
Yeah.
You know, and they told me about this. And I said, there's no referee, nobody steps in. I said, I would never do that. And they say, why not? I said, because there's always these guys who are not in control.
Yeah.
And once they knock you out, and there's no referee to stop, they're going to give you like 6, 7 more elbows to the face. That's where you get brain damage. I said, once there's a referee, I would like to do it. I'm not one of those guys who says, I'd rather die in the cage. Not me. I got a wife, a beautiful wife, and kids.
Yeah.
And I would love to see them. You know, I'll tap. Or, you know, if there's a chance of me breaking my neck, trust me, I'm going to tap. And with knockout as well, you know. It's so... It's that always has been in me. It's never been really the angry guy. My last fight, I dropped him with low kicks, and the guy says, I don't want him anymore, nothing anymore. So I already walk away, and the referee says, fight. And I look at the referee, I go, sure. So I walk back, and I think I jump on his back because he was an all fours. I'm going to give him a rear naked choke.
When you could have just kicked him in the face.
But then the referee flagged it off, and he says, no, it was okay. But I go, dude, he's over. He's just waving. He says he doesn't want to fight anymore. Why would I hit the guy again?
Yeah, the ref is supposed to stop it when the guy does that. By
Yeah,
the way.
yeah, but that's the camera angle. You know, he's
he
doing it
didn't
at
see
me,
it?
and the camera's behind. He stands on the other side, and he
Okay.
doesn't see the waving part. And then when he walked around, he saw it again.
So in this movie, because I think that I was trying to get to, you are a very scary person. You can be on the wrong side of Bas Rutten. It would be a bad idea. And I think it's a lot of reasons why I am scared of street fighting, because when I was a kid, I saw a lot of street fights where people were drunk and maybe they didn't know what they were doing, but I've seen people get bottled and stabbed, and I think there's a very dark world out there.
For no reason also. That's the worst.
Yeah, I can't remember any of the reasons that I saw.
That's
People just attacking each other because it was like a pub where everybody fought at the end of the night, is almost what I thought.
I think that's what it kind of used to be like a little
bit. Yeah. I think it wasn't not everybody's intention, but there were several people that were there with that plan by the end of the night. For sure. So anyway, in this movie, I see the preview where I'm not sure what is your role in it, because you look like a scary person, and it made me. I'm like, man, why wouldn't they get Bas to be a scary guy in old movies? I never. It's so funny for me to see this preview and go, you'd be an excellent fucking scary guy, or a guy that's like, look, here's the fucking truth of the real world, because you've been portrayed in other movies as kind of a fun-loving guy that might know how to kick you in the face.
You know, I love to play a part like this as well. You know, it's just an evil person comes out, and it's all justified. I'm a total sociopath.
You love
when I kill people.
If you're justified, you're in the clear, right?
Yeah, he did it. It's not me. You actually see me washing my hands at one time. You know, it's a bad person. It's a meth dealer.
Okay.
You know, that's what happens. And we have this kid who just steals everything. He's roving the America. He's looking for his father, and he steals everything that he can get his hands on. And then he steals by accident. He steals a bag with money, like $1 million, from 2 very bad guys. And then we go after this kid.
Okay.
But we're ruthless. They, like I said, sociopathic. So no remorse whatsoever. It's all their fault. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. You know, he stole the money. You know, it's bad. Tommy Cash is in it. Johnny Cash's brother.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he did a great job in it. And Joel Courtney, he's from a Super 8. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Yeah.
Back. Yeah. With J.J. Abrams, the director. He was young there, and he's grown up now, and he's doing a great job. And Relly Kane, she's in it, is one of the leads. So yeah, no, it's a fun movie about that. This guy steals everything that he can get his hands on. Then he meets the girl. He wants to change his life, but then one more time he does that thing that he gets the $1 million. So now he brings everybody in danger because they're looking for him. So they realize that if they get the girl, or they get the grandpa from the girl, which is Tommy Cash, maybe they can get the money back. So, and I wouldn't tell you what happens, but it's. Yeah, when I look, we went to the premiere last week in Tennessee, right? Yeah. And they brought kids to the screening. I have no clue why you would bring a kid to the screening, because it's pretty violent. And I wanted to high five some kids at the end, because they were looking at me. They would walk in a big curve around me, and then the moms and dads would go, "No, he's a very nice guy." They go, like, whatever. They just kept on moving,
It's like Freddy Krueger walking around trying to get chest bumps after they show Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, but but he's got the scissor hands, right?
Right.
So
that's a different
It's
Bas looks like
steroid.
Bas before the movie and after the movie.
And I'm in nice clothes now. I'm not like that guy. This is the first movie, I think, where somebody does a fly-by shooting. Oh, yeah. I'm doing a fly-by shooting because I'm a pilot as well. Hey, and it looks pretty cool. You
Oh,
like
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
You like this acting shit? You're getting into it, huh?
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun stuff, you know.
You think
But
this is your
preferably-
best role yet?
No, the one that got me the most was Here Comes the Boom. I think that's where I was very comfortable and I'm really in my thing, and that's what I like to do. You know, comedy action.
I was gonna say, so
know,
you prefer the
Lethal
comedy?
weapons, stuff like that. Having fun, beating up people,
See,
bad people.
I've always thought that was my. I'm like, to be a proper bad guy. I always sort of thought that's for a real actor.
Yeah.
Because they got to spend some time.
Yep.
And you're not. So if I look like a tough guy. So and I am a comedian at heart. Like I don't do stand up, but I think I'm a funny guy. So there's my angle.
Yep.
But honestly, like I haven't seen this movie. To me, you being a proper tough guy, a meth dealer, somebody that's coming after somebody, the darkest part of the world, it's so more convincing from you than a Tom Hardy guy that got a couple of fake tattoos put on his neck. Because maybe it's because I've trained or something, but I know that if Bas Rutten is staring you down and doesn't like you and is angry, this is a world that you do not want to be in. And I've had drug dealers that have been angry at me before. And it's a world that I did not want to be in.
Yeah.
But I'd prefer to be in that one than his one. Like when Bas Rutten's my drug dealer and he's like, "Fuck you, you owe me money." This is a world that I don't want to experience.
Well, I will beat you, but I wouldn't kill you. You know,
See, well,
like
not,
that's-
not the meth dealer.
He's just gonna palm you.
If you let him palm you and see what it's like, dude. Just palm you.
It's not my fault, Your Honor. I tried to palm him. Yeah, I broke his neck by accident. But he started it.
Yeah, he did start it. He did start it.
Oh, he started an angle. He's starting to wear thin with me. He's just pull that out every time. Hey, let it be funny. I couldn't help myself. Oh man. What else do we have to talk to him about? Am I supposed to go now?
No,
I am.
We only have a couple. We have a
I'm
couple
supposed
more
to
minutes,
go.
don't
He's
we?
saying.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, you're all right. Obviously there are a lot of big fights happening.
is the movie out?
Yes.
Yeah, the movie's out.
Yep,
in
The River
theaters?
Thief is in select cities, and everybody can see it video on demand.
Yep.
Which is how people watch movies.
I'm
nowadays, for the most part anyway.
gonna watch that. I'm super into that. Not because of the fly-by shooting. I just want to see
Well,
a good movie.
It sparked your interest also. Tell me.
Okay, yeah, I am. I do want to see that get pulled off. But yeah, I am into this movie. For
But yeah,
sure.
we'd love to get your take on some of the big fights happening for the rest of the year in the.
I heard you talk about Conor McGregor and Alvarez. I feel like you saying that Conor McGregor's got a tough fight on his hands is. I would like to see somebody say that he doesn't have a tough fight on his hands. I mean, this is every fight that he's going to have for the rest of his career is going to be a really tough fight. I mean, he's barked himself up a really tough tree.
Yeah, but when he fought Diaz the first time, and Diaz was constantly pushing, he had trouble with that.
Yeah.
And Chad Mendes, well, he took him down, and and I think Alvarez is a completely different animal. Chad didn't train for a long time at that fight.
Yep.
Alvarez is going to come in, who already fought a bunch of times 5 rounds, and that's McGregor's downfall right now. Is his stamina.
Have you seen his new thing now where he's posting photos with doctors and all his new training thing that he's going to change the face of the sport once again, and he has like a trainer and a doctor, like a scientist, while he's like hooked up to stuff on treadmills trying to get even
Ivan
more.
Drago.
Yes.
He might want to use some steroids because steroids doesn't give you cardio. So
No, it actually takes away.
yeah, so it's really, if anything, yeah. No, there's another one where he has a doctor, for crying out loud, an actual doctor. I don't know. It's the greatest photo ever. I'm like, okay, is this an intimidation factor? A man in a with
White
the
lab
with
coat.
the white lab
with,
coat.
with like a stethoscope.
Yes.
Sick.
While he's
And he needs to speak perfect English, because apparently every time we like with Apple or something, it's the people who speak with an English accent, not Irish, English. Apparently that makes them smarter.
Yeah, 20%
right? Because
smarter.
yeah, that's always.
They've been around longer.
But the thing, there you go. That came out. I believe that.
So you think that Eddie's going to
is-
win this fight?
He's an animal. McGregor is an animal. In the first 2 rounds, he's going to be very strong, and he'll probably carry it on now in the 3rd round. But Alvarez is being there the whole time. If he's pushing the fight like Diaz did with him the first time they met, it's going to be hard. Hanging on the neck the whole time, hanging, putting leg-to acid up there. Take away his striking. That's what you want to do, and then maybe go for a double leg takedown. It's like Rafael dos Anjos. He has that fighting style too, coming in, throwing bombs. Yeah. It's very hard now. McGregor's footwork is phenomenal. I love this guy. By the way, I'll both these guys. That's why I don't want to make a prediction. But I think if something will be happening in the first 2 rounds, a knockout, it probably comes from McGregor, probably in the first 2 rounds, and after that, when it starts going into the championship round, I would think that Alvarez is going to win it by decision, or maybe stop him all. Alvarez hits really hard as well, but
I know
Conor's been shown that he has a great chin.
He does have a great chin. They both do, but look, I've seen Alvarez get rocked and look like he was completely out and can come back. That dude is probably one of the toughest guys I've ever seen in MMA. Like in his weight class, I've never seen anybody get in more brawls. Quite frankly,
yep.
Like some of those, even the Bellator ones, fighting the Pitbull guy, just haymakers right on the head and fall down, get up, almost like knocked out, hit the canvas, wake up, come back up punching. Like he's a true warrior. But
and McGregor when he fought Diaz, Mendes hit him, man. And Mendes can hit.
Yeah.
And he hit him full, and he didn't even flinch.
I know, right?
And of course, everybody's going to say, yeah, well, Diaz, but he was tired.
Yeah.
Tired. Once you get tired, it takes
don't you
time
think?
head.
Sorry, Bas, but don't you think in the first one that he thought after the second round that he had his number, and then he got out of his range, like he came in too close and started getting caught? Like I thought he sort of took Nate for granted. By the first round, he was like, "Oh, I've got this guy," and then like blew his load and stepped in a lot closer and started getting caught with those long arms. I felt like he didn't take him so serious. It's definitely not as serious as he did in the second fight. That's
and it's also, it takes all the heart away, and everybody can say, oh, not with me, but if you hit somebody with everything you got, and the guy doesn't flinch and he keeps coming forward, you think, oh, I got it in the bag, but he's not stopping, he's coming forward the whole time. It's a hard thing to step away from in your mind.
Especially when your plan is to knock him out.
But that's it. I always tell people there's two little voices in your head. The one that kind of wants to quit, and the other one that says, no, don't listen to them. We're going to keep on going. And those voices that you can plant images in your head as well. What I mean with this is, for instance, stamina. He can be going 7 rounds in training now, full power. That doesn't mean anything. Once in the fight, if he gets a little tired, that bad voice is going to start talking. Remember the Diaz fight?
Yeah.
Remember this fight when you were getting tired?
Yeah.
Remember that moment when he would have turned it on, that he would, don't listen. Yeah. You try to avoid it, but once you get tired and more tired, that voice starts to become more louder and louder. And then your stamina goes, it's going to go straight down. So if you can stay away from those voices and only believe what he truly believes, because that's why I think he's so strong. He truly believes he cannot be stopped. Well, not knocked out. So because he knows he can be stopped now with a rear naked choke, which kind of, I think maybe he even gave it because he gave up at that moment.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I mean, he tried to take down Nate Diaz. That wasn't a good idea.
No.
It's funny when you bring up the voices. It's the suffocation voice and the pain voice.
Oh,
they're separate, but they are still the same thing. There's like I can no longer breathe. How can I continue to fight if I can no longer breathe? Versus the oh my God, that hurts so much. How can I continue with that pain? Like a broken nose. First time someone broke my nose in a fight, I dropped. I wasn't unconscious.
Yep.
My legs gave out because my nose broke.
And with the stamina, it's you're telling your brain something is wrong, and then suddenly you say, oh, I'm getting tired. Now you're going to try to control your breathing. That means you're not naturally breathing anymore. And that will make you more tired because now you try to force it. And also, he's seeing that I'm tired. He sees that I'm tired, so now you start breathing in through your nose. You don't want to show him you're getting tired, Yeah. It's all an acting thing that goes on, which will make you more tired. So there was all these little things that go on in the mind. That's why they told me, I heard him breathing the first 3 minutes. I was going to stop him. Yeah, but that's one thing that my dad always told me. I was good at track and field as well as my whole family from my dad's side. They all did track and field. And he said, Bas, whatever you do, don't try to hold in. Breathe like you want to breathe. If you go during a fight, just do that the whole time. Don't care what the other people think. Just breathe what you're supposed to do, the way you're supposed to do.
That's funny because I notice a lot of people bring up Dominic Cruz, will say, in my opinion, an uneducated opinion, when they go, oh, he's breathing heavy. And I'm like, if you watch Dominic Cruz, whenever he separates, he goes,
yep.
He does it at the first round and he does it in the 5th round. He's not he's not tired. Like, don't think that he's tired. He just constantly does that because he's a very intelligent fighter, and he knows that if he keeps breathing like that the whole way through,
There you
his
go.
heart rate's down. So he's got more cardio.
Now I know we have to go and we have to let you go, but I would love to follow up on what you were just saying, Bas. Is there a way, easier said than done, when you have the two voices in your head? Okay, well, we all know you should ignore the one that's giving you bad information, but easier said than done. How is there a technique to do that?
Yeah, that's what really worked with me. There's two instances, but what really works with me is I never had a real training partner that could handle me in Holland on the ground, right? So I needed to find ways to get really tired and then let him attack me. So what I would do, I would kick a kicking shield as hard as I can for a minute and a half. And you know as well, 3 kicks right, 3 kicks left, 3 kicks right. For a minute and a half, you get really, really tired. I would fall on my back, he would jump on top, and I would start grappling. And then you realize that because you're breathing very heavy, but then you realize, oh man, I'm not getting tired on the ground, because you're not ashamed that you're tired, because he knows you're tired. It's all acting. That's why you're getting tired. But if you just go and you just breathe, I could keep on going. And that really made me think about, whoa, wait a minute. I just have to go breathe as much air as I can, even when on the ground. I don't care what this guy is thinking. Now, another instance that I had is that I was doing every day 12 rounds on the back of 3 minutes, because I had no training partners. My first year and a half in Pancras was 2 times a day, 12 rounds on the back. That was pretty much my workout. And I would always go harder and harder. And I didn't know that you needed rest in order to get stronger. Anyway, one of these days, because officially your body starts to break down, of course, because you need rest and you need better food. I kicked, and I was super tired. I was so angry. I added 3 more rounds because I was getting tired. I told myself I'm going to do 3 extra rounds. I kicked, and I put my foot down, and I twisted my ankle, and it hurt. It was insane. I had to fall. I fell on the ground. I was in so much pain, and within 5 seconds, I'm looking up, and I go, "What happened to my breathing?" I was like I'm talking right now.
Yeah.
And that was going from 13 rounds, full, and as soon as the pain was there, it took all the focus to the ankle, and I was breathing normal. And I go, how is this possible? And then I realized, see, it's all in your mind. Everything is in your mind, because once the distraction was there with the pain, I suddenly was not breathing heavy anymore.
These are the Mean Streets research and development, the old school way.
Yeah, but all out the little meters on me.
No doctors like Conor McGregor. Just blow my ankle out. Wait a minute. There you
I
go.
can breathe again.
Bas, thanks so much for being on the show.
You're very
it's
welcome.
always an honor to have you here. El Guapo, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest fighters of all time. So there you go, I said it again.
BasRutten.com, The River Thief, available now in select cities and with video on demand.
One of the greatest MMA announcers of all time, by the way, too. What's up with that? Why don't you... You're too busy to do that.
Oh, I do the World Series of Fighting.
But you won't do other organizations.
They're asking me for a new company comes up also in Europe, so I'm
Bellator
torn in
needs your
between.
help.
Yeah,
Just
no, Jimmy's okay, right? I like Jimmy.
Hey, but the other guys, you're
Yeah, but I'm a real collar guy. You know, it's the play-by-play guys. That's for guys like Mauro Ranallo and Kenny Rise. Those guys are really excelling in that.
Yeah,
stuff.
good point. Yeah, I don't want to hang. You're better than them. That's all I'm saying. All right, thanks everybody. Don't die. Oh, fucking F9. Damn it.
God, you